What's up, saints, friends, and others? Welcome to the King's Dominion podcast, the official podcast of Dominion Church and Dominion Institute. I'm your host, Josh White. The last 4 episodes, my wife has been hosting them, and they've been really, really great. But I am back, and I'm back better than ever because I've got guests with me today and this week and next week too, and it's Justin and Shirley Averette, and we are super stoked to have them with us today, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of exciting stuff. And so just want to bring them on and welcome them. We love you guys. We're honored to have you, and we're excited about it. So Justin and Shirley are actually members of our church. Prior to that, of course, they're Rhema grads, and so we all graduated from the same Bible college, but they're members of our church with an exciting future, which we might take a couple weeks and talk about. But before we get too far into that, why don't y'all just both greet the people, say what's up, what's good, what's bad. Leave the bad out, and just say hello.
Well, thank you for having us. It's always
an honor. Of course, it's an honor to have you.
Yeah, thanks again for inviting us. So yeah, I'm Justin Averette. We're, like you said, we're Rhema Bible College graduates. We graduated around the same time you did. We've been members of your church now for the last several years. We've done a little bit of everything from associate pastoring, mission pastoring, and everything. And yeah, really excited to talk about what God's got for us.
Yeah. It's exciting. We're stoked about it, and it's one of those things that what we're going to talk about. It's one of those things that's bittersweet. There's a whole lot of sweet, but then there's a whole lot of It's one of those things that kind of, so which you guys know that you're living it, but we're living it with you. And of course, the people that are listening are like, we have no clue what you're talking about. A whole lot of stuff that we're alluding to. However, we're excited, and we can talk a whole lot of details, but let's rip the Band-Aid off. We're here because you guys are planning a move to Japan.
That's right.
It's officially in the works.
It's officially in the works.
Yeah, the Lord gave us the green light, so we're just taking steps towards that.
After several trips over there for mission work, the Lord gave us the go-ahead finally, and we have filed for our paperwork. We're waiting on the Japanese government to come back.
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah. We've been talking about it. We've been working on it and all this stuff. And this was something that obviously we knew was in the works. And I mean, we could go back in time even further. From the minute that you guys moved to our church, moved back to Mountainville, moved to our church, and started attending our church, we knew that a missionary-style move to Japan was in the works. We knew that. That was overly communicated. Doesn't make it any easier, but it was overly communicated, and we knew that, and we're just waiting on God to say when the time was. We knew you were in Mountainville. God had you there for a season, serving at the church and training and learning everything you could learn, and we pray that it's been an incredible season. And we're forever family, and of course, we're proud to send you out as part of Dominion Church, and so just as representatives of us. But we knew this was coming. But I guess before we even talk about how the Lord spoke to y'all, how's it feel now that it's like, oh dang, like we knew this was coming, but here we are. We're moving to the other side of the world, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it's always been something that we've been looking forward to, and it's been like, when can we go? When can we go? When can we go? And then when we went and came back and it was time to go, it's like, I don't even know how to feel anymore. Because I've felt like, when can we go for so long, and now that we can, it's just like, it's almost like a weird juxtaposition to be in that spot. But I mean, we're here for it. We've been kind of preparing the kids, getting them ready, and getting them all ready to go. And they've been hesitant, but they've been slowly working towards it. Like, not Brandon. Brandon's been ready to go the whole time, but the other two have been slowly working there, and now they're excited. They're ready to go, and they're loving it. And we're just trying to figure out how to downsize everything that we need, because there's a lot. It's a lot to get rid of 20 years.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing. So I mean, let's speak to that, because you're moving with the 3 kids, 3 of the 4 kids. You've got 4, but 3 of the 4 are moving with you to the other side of the world. I'm not psyching you out. You're aware of this. I'm just letting the people know, that this is a faith move. This is massive to go to the other side of not the country, the world, with 3 out of your 4 kids. And so I mean, even speak to that, because the kids, I mean, every time I talk to them, they're like, I'm going to miss my friends, but I love it. I'm excited to live here, yada yada yada. Which they're great kids. Like, you really have great kids.
We do. I was just telling them that on the ride up here. I'm like, man, we have some great kids.
Yeah.
For me, I can speak a lot on the practical side of things, though, because I've been going through things. I don't know if it's just mom and the wife.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how do we even get all this stuff?
You accumulate stuff,
But it's been bittersweet, and lately the Lord's been like, giving me reminders of like, no, you've already you've already said yes a long time
Right.
ago. When we decided to move to Rhema in 2016, we already kind of done this before.
Yeah.
We got rid of everything and said yes to God then, and it was just preparation for this moment. And for us, well, for me personally, I'm like, oh Lord, you were all over that. You were already
Right.
preparing us back then when we had no idea
Yep.
that Japan was even going to be on the
Right.
radar years ago.
Yep.
So that's been 10 years. 10
Yeah.
years since
We're old.
we said
We are
yes
old.
to God
Yeah.
in that way. So.
Yeah. Well, and I told somebody the other day because, the Lord's asking us about some stuff and I'm like, I'm over it, I'm over it. But I told somebody the other day, I'm like, I have no no's left in me. I don't have any no's left in me. The Lord ripped every no out of me. With every yes that I said, a no was removed and now there's no no's left. Like I literally, there's no ability to say no, because I've said yes so many times, and I don't say that to brag on me by any, because it was hard yeses, okay, tear-filled yeses. So there is no bragging in me crying myself to sleep over saying yes to God, but you live that life where it's like, you know what, I've got to, I've got to. And of course, what a testimony of a family to go, you know what, this is where the family's going, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm cool with it.
It's an honor to have the opportunity to be able to take our children.
Yeah.
For us, family is,
Right.
that is part of your mission field,
Absolutely.
your children. And what an honor is we have to be able to sow these seeds of Christ into
Right.
them, but outside of the normal,
Right.
outside of the little bubble that most people live in. It's a great honor.
Right.
It's a great responsibility.
Yeah. Well, it's even, something that I say all the time. People act like they have to choose between their family and their purpose. No, I bring my family into my purpose.
Exactly.
We do purpose together. In this household, we do purpose
As it
together.
should be.
I don't have to choose purpose or family or leave family for purpose or leave purpose for family or yada, yada, yada. God called me and my household.
That's right.
As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And so my whole house does purpose together as a family, and y'all are living that so well. I mean, your kids are killing it, and y'all are killing it.
Well, we've prepared them. Like, you're with us until God says it's time
Right.
for you to go.
Right,
As the head of the house, I mean, he's let that be known.
right,
This is our standard. We're going to live Christ-like. And when God calls you to do your thing, then
yeah,
you can step out.
absolutely,
And do that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yep, that's exactly what we tell them. We tell them that as long as we're in this thing together, as long as we're a family unit and you're not out on your own, what we're called to, you're called to.
Right.
Yeah.
And God's going to
Family
give you
ministry.
the same strength to fulfill it that he gives us to fulfill it.
Absolutely.
So it's all about moving in that faith when they feel
Oh,
like we
that's
don't think
so
we can
good.
do it.
Yeah.
They say, we don't think we can do it. We don't think we can leave our friends or
Learn the
meet new
language.
people or learn language. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, if God's given you the strength to leave Oklahoma and come
That's
here, then
so
he's given you
good.
the strength to go to Japan and do the same thing there.
That's so good. And what you just said was something that we skirted over, and I don't think I've heard taught anywhere that oh, that's so good. Okay, so if we're called to it, you're called to it. That's fine. That's good. That's easy. But the grace and the strength that God put on me and mom to do it,
Yes.
you can tap into that same grace and strength because you're a part of the family. God
right.
called the family to it, so there's a grace for the whole family, and you're allowed to tap into that strength and be, whoa, okay, teaching kids that, hey, there's a grace on our family to do this, and you need to learn to tap into that grace
Yeah.
the way that me and mom are.
That's
Whoa.
going to carry with them
Yeah.
into their own families, those foundational truths.
yeah.
And the Lord is so wonderful. He's already, for our children, that's a big concern.
Right.
How are they going to adapt? We've been there before, so
Right.
the Lord's already equipped us. But the Lord is wonderful, and he's already been preparing their spirits for this.
Right.
I've already seen shift in demeanor
Yeah.
and the way they speak about certain things. And, it's just been great to see our children kind of like, yes, Lord.
Yeah, come
Even
on.
though they don't understand it quite yet.
Yeah.
It's
And,
just
and
been
the
great.
the way the Lord has really set it up with the kids, because Zachary, our third son, our second son going with us, but our third son in total, is his biggest. He's a real big friend person.
Right.
He loves his friends. He friends really hard, and he was worried about not having people to talk to,
Right.
not having a circle to get in with. And then he realized the other day, he's like, oh no, wait, I do know people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, when we went out there, because we went out there on a mission trip for about 3 weeks back in December.
Yeah.
when we went out there, he met a core friend group around his age, and it was so funny. It was the last minute church we were asked to teach at. He met a core group of kids there, and they bonded. They were playing games. They were hanging out together. Even Brandon was hanging out and making friends. And he's like, "No, I do have people there," and he got really excited about it. And he started getting ready to go.
Come on, so good, so good.
He's already tapping into that grace that he doesn't even know,
even realize it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the parents, it's just wonderful to see.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I mean, see, that's the thing, is how amazing that, again, the Lord's called, you've answered, but it's a family thing, okay? And that's the emphasis. And so ultimately, we could go back and maybe even talk a little bit about, okay, way back. Where does Japan come from? You're called to move from, you're both from Alabama, okay? Alabama, moved off to Oklahoma for a little bit to go to Rhema and be a part of Rhema Bible Church, Rhema Bible College, but moved home to Alabama, part of our church. And now even when I tell people, like, we're sending missionaries to Japan, Japan is not what you think of when you think mission field. That's not the top. It should be, and we know why, and we'll talk about why, but Japan is not, like, when I'm talking to other pastors, we're about to send out missionaries for the first time, because we've not sent out missionaries from our own church in years, and we've not, Hope and I have not, my grandparents have, but we've not, since we've been pastors, sent out full-time missionaries yet. So this is big for our church, that we're launching out and sending out missionaries from under our church. And so even when we have conversations about that, they're like, oh, that's cool, where they go? I'm like, Japan. They're like, Japan? Like, what is in Japan? So we'll talk maybe more about the need later and the ministry later. But where did God start speaking to y'all about Japan? Get into that.
So it's funny. So we moved to Rhema originally 2007 when her parents were going to school there. That's how I got introduced to it. I had never heard about it or anything.
Generation Rhema family.
So we moved out there in 2007 and stayed there till 2013. We came back when some family stuff happened. Just came back to be a help. And then 2016 comes around, like she says, she goes out to ladies conference and tells us, and comes back home and says, it's time to go. And I didn't want anything to do with it. I'm like, I finally got home. I want to stay home, but God had other plans. And I'm so glad I listened to him. But 2018, we move out there, we start school. And then I want to say it was January rolls around and I'm in employee prayer. I'm working for the ministry, and the way it works when you work for Rhema is every month they have an employee prayer session where the whole employee, team of Kenneth Hagin Ministries gets together and we all pray for an afternoon. And I love it. Spirit of God moves so good in those meetings. But we're sitting there praying and the Lord puts it on me and I'm like, what? I'm like, when I leave, I'm going back home. Because when we went there in 2018, I'm like, I'm going to go. I'm going to do my 2 years. I'm going to do my time and I'm coming home. I'm like, we're not doing missions whatsoever. Because I had known from being around Rhema all those years that most people get a call for mission work. And it's because the mandate is to go teach my people faith. You can't go teach them if you don't go.
Little did we know.
Little did we know. So we're sitting there and God puts it on me and I'm like, instant anxiety, instant please, no, not me, anybody else.
Maybe. You immediately go mental.
Exactly.
Like, I'm out of the spirit. The Lord is.
It was like a light switch. It was going. I'm like, maybe you meant the guy sitting next to me.
Maybe I'm just sitting too close to somebody who's called to Japan. Like, it's just
exactly. But I'm telling you, with all the anxiety and all the hesitation that instantly hit me, it was one of the few times in my life I've heard the audible voice of God. And when that presence overtakes you, it's like all the stress, all the worry melts away.
Jesus.
And it's even though you have no idea how it's going to work, and even though you can't see it, you can't even imagine it, it's just this overwhelming wave of peace. And so when I got that, I'm like, I've been taught, I know how this works. I'm like, I know that's God, so we're going to go with it. I'm like, I don't know how it's going to work, but it ain't my idea, it's your idea. So
come on.
So you're going to go with it. So I go home that afternoon and I'm talking to her about it, and I'm like, I got something I got to tell you. She's like, she gets that weird look like, and she's like, what you mean? I'm like, well, I was praying today. She's like, I'm like, the Lord told me we got to do something. She's like, And I'm like, we got to go somewhere. She's like, She's like, where are we going? I'm like, I think we're got to go to Japan. She's like, yeah, I know. I've just been waiting on her to tell you. I'll let her tell that part.
Come on.
I was in a Doug Jones class. I believe it was Life of Honor, if I'm thinking correctly. It's been some years. But the Lord gave me a spiritual vision of Japan. I saw I believe it's a Shinto.
The Torii Gate.
The Torii Gate, yes. He didn't say Japan, but I knew what it was.
Right.
And the Lord showed me that. And, I'm still learning, still growing spiritually. And I was like, what is this? So I took a note at the top of my page. I was like, the Lord just showed me Japan.
Wow.
Just downloaded Like, we're going.
Yeah.
I just knew in my spirit that we were going. But I was like,
Yeah.
I was silent, so I couldn't say anything about it. And I think it was maybe like a month or two after.
Yeah, it was. You had told me the
Lord
Lord
already
told
told
you
me.
in October, and it was
was something like
January
that.
when
Yeah.
he told
Yeah, it was
me.
a couple months.
And I'll give her credit for that. She didn't say a
I
word
did
or
not
let
Yeah.
on about
even
anything.
hint anything.
Yeah.
But it was confirmation for
Right,
me that I was
right.
hearing from the Lord clearly. And then we put it on the shelf for a little while, but the Lord kept bringing it up. He
Right.
wouldn't let us. He wouldn't let us get away from it. And then we were like, okay, yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
This is real life right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah, so when she graduated third year, 23.
23.
So when she graduated third year, we're like, okay, it's time to go. So
Yeah.
we start getting ready. We're starting to get rid of things to go to Japan because we were leaving Broken Arrow and headed to Tokyo.
Right. I remember.
That was the plan.
I remember.
And then we're praying it out. We're doing the things, and the Lord's like, hold on. You got one more stop to make
Yeah.
before you get to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, where are we going? He's like, I need you to go to Alabama first. So
Yeah.
we're like, that's the last place we wanted to
Yeah.
go.
For what?
Oh,
That's the
man.
last place we wanted to go.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, cool. We'll go. We'll say bye to everybody.
For
and
a
then we'll-
couple
We like we're
months.
For a
sneaking in and sneaking out kind
Well,
of situation.
we were like couple weeks, couple months at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like maybe 3 months and we'll be out. So just so everybody can come see us, it will be a while before we get back, and then we'll go. And I remember we had the day. It was supposed to be September 29th,
Yeah.
2023. We were supposed to fly out. And we packed up all of our stuff because we knew if we were going to Alabama, we were going to have a few extra
Right.
things that
Yeah.
we were going to get rid of. So we kept a few things. We rented a U-Haul, kept more things than we actually should have. But we got a U-Haul, brought them all back to Alabama, and we were sitting there and we're doing the things. We had hooked
Right.
up with you guys. We had got started going to church and everything. And then September
Well, even
20
that was weird. Even that,
It
not
was
weird, but
weird.
even
Well,
that was supernatural
it
because,
was.
I mean, you were trying other churches. I mean, there was 3 that I know of that you
We
visited,
did.
included us.
We did.
And I remember the day that you visited our church.
Mm-hmm.
Hope was not there. I think she was really pregnant, which is
I
what,
think she
which is
was.
the
I believe so.
the going thing for
Yeah.
us. You know,
Really
it
pregnant.
was one of her pregnancies, and the only reason I remember that is because she always, and y'all know, you've gone to church with us long enough, you know how we work. When we operate in tongues and interpretation, she gives a tongue I interpret. That's
Right.
just, we're not putting God in a box, but that's how we
Right.
flow typically.
Right.
And so that day, I knew I had a word, and I was like, I wish Hope was here because she could give the tongue. And I think I gave a tongue and interpreted it over you guys, called you out, had a word for you. Don't remember the word, but I remember the anointing on the word. I mean, I remember it being so strong, laid hands on you, you both went out in the spirit. It was significant.
It
Like, I
was.
remember the anointing being, sometimes you have to really pull
Yeah.
deep, and sometimes it's like, ugh, you know. And I remember it being so significant that morning, whatever, I don't remember what I said. When you're in the spirit, you don't,
Yeah.
remember all those things. But I remember it being so significant. And I went back and told Hope, and I said, something is up with the Averettes. And she said, well, they're moving. And I said, but something else is
Yeah.
up. Something is up there. So even that was supernatural by the time you guys got hooked up with us and the Lord connected us, you know.
It was because
very supernatural.
when we got back, we wanted to plug into a church, but we didn't want to plug in and become those
Have to
crucial
uproot.
people
Right.
or anything like that, and then have to leave immediately. 'Cause
Right.
We're still operating under the mindset that we're leaving
Right.
September of 23. So we, like I said, we visited several churches. Our original church we met in, and the church in Cottondale that we were
Right,
going to.
right.
And then
Both incredible churches
both
that
great
I have
churches.
great
Wonderful
relationships
churches.
with.
Yeah,
And
I
that,
love
you
the
know.
pastors, love the people. They're
Yeah.
incredible
Great
churches.
connections there.
But we did what we were taught. We visited the churches, and then we sought the Lord out over where we should
Yeah.
go, and the Lord pointed us to Victorious Life now, Dominion,
Right.
but Victorious Life
Right,
back in the day,
absolutely.
and that's where we went.
Yeah, he was very
And
clear. He's like,
yeah,
this is where
it
you
was.
need to be.
It wasn't one of those situations like you pray and you feel like you got
Right.
that little bit of inkling. It was a very strong, no, this is where I have for
Yeah.
you.
Right.
So we plugged in and we hit the ground. And then September 29th came and went.
Yeah.
And we get into this mode where, because I mean, everybody's all excited about doing what God wants them to do, especially if God has you doing something that kind of falls in line with your interests, which
Right.
for me to be the backwoods country boy from Marion, Alabama, that is real big into samurai and Japan and feudal history and all
Come
this kind
on.
of stuff is weird. I'm like one of 3 people that I know that's into that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and for the Lord to pick somebody out of the woods in Alabama and give
the
that to it
woods.
really showed me what it means in Proverbs when it said
Right.
the Lord gives you your desires of your
Yeah.
heart.
Come on.
It doesn't mean that he gives you what you want. It means those desires,
Puts those desires in you.
Yeah.
those things that aren't just wants, aren't just things you want to do, but they're true desires in
Right.
your heart. God puts them there.
Yes.
Right.
So when he gives them to you, he's giving you the desire itself, not the item.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to see that because I'm like, I'll just pray to God and I'll get whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm a Mustang guy. I'm like, all right, God,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. Where's it at? But that's not an actual desire. That's just something of the flesh that
Yeah.
the flesh wants. And no, the desire for me right now, and since It was kind of always there. But since the first time you and I went, the desire to just be around the Japanese people and teach them about the Lord and teach them about the love of the Lord has just been something that's been burning in me just since we've been there. And I can't shake it. It's every time we get on the plane to leave, whether it was just me, us and the kids, it's the hardest thing I have to do. It's like walking away from. I know it's not it because God's taking us back there, but it almost feels like I'm walking away from the Lord because it's what the Lord has for me. And it's not a pain because I know it's there, but it's a longing. It's a longing to do the things the Lord wants.
Right.
And it's
even that thing was significant because we've talked about how it was supernatural that the Lord connected us and for eternal purpose and that this thing is connected and we're in covenant and we believe that and feel that and have had conversations about that. But even we had conversations about there was no open door to Japan. There was everything that looked open had shut down, you know, and y'all were like, we're called over there. How do we get over there? There was no open door. And of course, you're just serving faithfully at our church. It was Victorious Life Church. Now it's Dominion Church with the name change, but you're just serving faithfully at the church. You're just, God, you open the door when you want to. And because you're serving faithfully at Dominion Church, where that came from, I still don't remember. I mean, I had a meeting with them Wednesday night, and I still don't remember where that thing came from. Wow. But I came to you one day and said, I've got asked to speak at a conference in Tokyo. And would you want to go with me? And you're like, absolutely. Like, why would I? I'm like, so that was, again, and I'm a nobody. So not to magnify me, but magnifying being connected to who God's called you to be connected to. Because if you're at, again, incredible churches, but if you're at one of those other churches, and then I get the invite to speak in Tokyo, well, see, we're not cool like that. I mean, you're not connected to us. That door's not opened unto you because you're not where you're supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? And so the Lord connected you where you needed to be. And then ultimately that door flung open and it's like, now that connection's your connection, obviously. But that came to us. And I'm like, why did I get asked to speak at a conference in Tokyo? And so that connection developed between me and of course, Pastor Jeffter Kashiwakura. And of course, so when I took you then, we went and I'm like, whoa, this is it. And even the end of that trip was interesting because, when I go out of the country, I go on assignment. And when that assignment is done, I'm done.
Totally different person.
Literally, I'm a different person. I'm not quite as fun to be around.
You're mission
because I'm just like, I've got to do what I've got to do. And this is what I'm doing. And then people are like, well, man, you're a jerk when you go out of the country. I'm not. I'm just... I didn't come to tour. I'm here to I miss my wife. I miss my kids. I'm here doing what I need to do.
Like a racehorse with blinders.
I'm like here. I'm going to go preach and do what I'm supposed to do. And then I'm going to take my happy tail home. Okay. And so anyway, I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Like I'm done. At the end of the trip, for me, because I'm a short-term missions person, when I go international to minister, when I do international ministry, it's short term, 1 to 2, 3 weeks tops. Okay. And I got to get my tail home. Okay. I'm a pastor. I got to be with my people. So when that lifts, it physically lifts off of me. There's a grace for that 2-week assignment. And then at the end of that trip, it lifts off of me. So I remember even like getting ready to go back to the airport at the end of that trip. And I'm like, it's done. I'm ready to go home. I done preached, laid hands on like 75 Japanese people, the whole room in the floor. I'm done. Like it's the Holy Ghost has moved. It was really supernatural. First conference was really supernatural.
It was fantastic.
It was insane. I'm like, all right, operated under the anointing and I'm good. Preached to people. People got saved, healed, delivered, set free, filled with the Holy Ghost. I'm good. And, sitting there and I'm like, are you good? Are you tired? Like, I'm good. I'm ready to go home. And then look over at you and you're like, depression, And I remember looking over at you. I'm like, bro, are you good? Like, is everything okay? And you looked up at me and you weren't, I won't tell you weren't crying, but there were tears in your eyes. And you said, how do you leave the place God's called you to? And I should have been more sensitive, but I was like, I can't speak to that because God didn't call me here. Like, I'm here to preach, do this conference, and then go home. But there was already that visibly I can't leave thing, on you. And I was like, well, you just say see you later and you hop on a plane, and you come back. That's kind of where we left that. And it's been growing. I tell people all the time, people are like, well, I have an idea. How do I know if it's just me or if it's God? I say, if it's God, it'll grow. If it's flesh, it'll fizzle.
That's right.
And so if it's God, that thing gets bigger and bigger in you as time goes. And so the first point that God spoke to you guys about Japan was what, 2019?
2018 for her, January for me.
Okay.
So.
So in that time period till this time period, man, that thing grew.
Yeah.
It has not left. It's
Significantly.
only gotten bigger. So that's a principle to leave right there. If it's God, it'll grow.
That's right.
If it's flesh, it'll fizzle. If you'll give it some time, so I tell people don't rush into things. If it's God, it'll be God in 2 weeks.
That's
Yep.
right.
Because a lot of mistakes have been made by people rushing into things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just a lesson right there. If it's God, it'll grow, and this thing grew.
Yep.
So it's certainly God, and we're honored to be a tiny part of the story. And so before we hop off, I just want to let you guys know, of course, we're talking about this couple, and they're incredible. But God's called them to Japan. They're getting ready to make a move. This move is going to require a whole lot of prayer. First and foremost, this move is going to also require, shameless plug, some munties, okay? And so if you'd like to in any way partner with their ministry or sow into their ministry, you can reach out to our church, Dominion Church. We can get you the contact information. You can reach out to any of us on social media. We would love to connect you with what God is doing through their life and their ministry, because they are incredible. I can vouch. You know me, you know them. You don't know them, but I'm saying if you know me, if you know me, you know them, all right? They're my people. I can vouch that they are incredible, incredible ground to sow into, and I would encourage you to pray for them first and foremost. And then after you pray, if the Lord feels, if you feel led, the Lord leads you to sow something, let's get them to Japan where they can do a whole lot of what we might talk about next week, what they're going to do once they get over there, and the need in Japan. So we appreciate you praying about that. We love you, and we'll talk more with the Averettes next week on another episode. God bless you guys.